Automotive experts, industry insiders, and 4x4 fans all over the world are excited these days. Why, you may ask? The answer is simple. It's the news about the official release of one of the most legendary and recognizable vehicles on the planet, the brand new Toyota landcruiser. If you haven't heard this name before, you must have been living on a deserted island in the middle of the ocean. But even then, it's highly unlikely that you don't know anything about the landcruiser, because no matter how remote the island may be, a landcruiser could probably get to you, as it's one of the most capable off-road vehicles ever manufactured. Let's start with a bit of history to understand why the latest news in this vehicle are so special. We go back to the year 1951, when the first Land Cruisers, then called the Toyota Jeep BJ, were introduced. And yes, the Jeep part was taken from the legendary Willys Jeep, which Japanese engineers studied extensively before introducing their own iteration of a military 4x4 vehicle. And so, the long-lasting story began. The Land Cruiser went through 8 generations and is successfully produced and sold all over the world today, with more than 10 million vehicles built. These numbers were achieved mostly due to the fact that the Land Cruiser offers unparalleled off-road capabilities and reliability compared to a slab of granite. Over the past 70 years, Land Cruisers have been used in almost every humanitarian aid or disaster relief mission there was. The Red Cross, the United Nations, even the Pope used a bulletproof Land Cruiser as his vehicle. So what's new for 2024? First of all, let's clear up some confusion. There are technically 2 different models of the Land Cruiser. The bigger model, called the J300 or 300 series, debuted in 2022. And the smaller version, the J250 or 250 series, will arrive in late 2023 as the 24 model. To clear the confusion in Toyota's decision to name and brand these vehicles in different markets, it's best to think of these 2 models not as different vehicles, but as a heavy-duty and a light-duty version of the same model, as these SUVs in their latest generation share the same platform. The sale of the 300 series will be reserved for the Middle East, Australia, and Japan, while the 250 series will be available globally, including the US market. The new 24 model will remain a classic construction body-on-frame SUV. The new generation will use the GAF platform ladder frame setup, which is 50% stiffer than the one used in the previous generation. This allows for the new Land Cruiser to offer even better off-road characteristics and improved safety for the vehicle's occupants. Staying true to its off-road roots, Toyota has made the new Land Cruiser look the part. It's not an average mainstream rounded and polished modern SUV. It's basically a giant box on wheels, but it makes this 4x4 look like how an off-roader should look, tough and aggressive. The previous generations, although not being bad-looking vehicles, they look quite tame. This new 250 design makes it stand proud in the true off-road SUV market, and design-wise compete with the likes of Jeep Wrangler, Mercedes G-Class, Ford Bronco, and Land Rover Defender. If we were to describe the design in one word, the new Land Cruiser looks industrial, and that, in our opinion, is a good thing. One of the most important features of this generation is that the Land Cruiser will now be more than 3 inches shorter and slightly lower than the outgoing model. Yet, due to an increased wheelbase and some ingenious engineering, it will offer more cabin space for the passengers. The new generation will be available in 2 grades, LC 1958 and LC. The LC grade comes with all the functions of the LC 1958 with additional comfort and convenience. Inside, heated and ventilated front seats, an available console cool box, and a 2400 kilowatt inverter to meet your adventure needs. Interior-wise, the new Land Cruiser offers the latest in technology that you would expect to find in a modern car. A 12.3-inch infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as a fully digital instrument display, and 8-way power-adjustable leather-trimmed front seats. Celebrating the return of the Land Cruiser, a limited run of first edition models with rounded headlights and a retro front grille brings even more premium features: a roof rack, rock rails, and a front skid plate to the trails so you can take your adventure to the next level. First to launch will be a 5-door model with a 5-passenger capacity, with a 3-door model expected to come out later in the production run. Being a true off-roader, the new Land Cruiser will, of course, have a 4x4 drivetrain with a locking rear differential and stabilizer disconnect mechanism, or SDM, to offer unparalleled capabilities when the goings get tough. In the US market, the new Land Cruiser will be offered with a single powertrain, a 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder paired with an electric motor and a nickel-metal hydride battery. This system will produce 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque, and comes as standard with an 8-speed automatic transmission. The towing capacity is rated at 6,000 pounds. And that's it for the interesting but not particularly exciting technical information. If you're considering buying a new gen landcruiser, specification-wise, you should be covered. If, however, you have some doubts, let's discuss why the landcruiser is called the king of SUVs. Not even 5 years ago, the true 4x4 SUV segment was, if not to say dying, then in really bad shape. The Nissan Patrol, once considered a true off-roader, had transformed into a family van. The Mitsubishi Pajero was discontinued, along with the Land Rover Defender. There was no Bronco. And let's not even start to talk about some of the other mainstream manufacturers, whose idea of an SUV was a fancy crossover minivan or a hatchback on a set of large wheels. So basically, if you needed a capable off-road SUV, you could choose a Mercedes G-Class starting at more than $140,000, a Jeep Wrangler, or a Toyota Land Cruiser. Good luck taking your uber-expensive German SUV on the trail, and the Wrangler, despite being a legendary name badge and an exceptional off-road vehicle, was never the most practical or easy thing to live with. And what SUV was there for us 4x4 enthusiasts all the time? The trusty Land Cruiser. Offering unparalleled reliability and the ability to literally outlast its owner, the cruiser would offer safety and practicality, whether you were going on a safari, a jungle expedition, doing rescue runs in the world's hotspots, or just carrying groceries back home. Thankfully, now the true off-roader market is on the rise again. We have a new Bronco and Defender. We still have the Wrangler. The G-Wagon still starts at $140,000, and the Patrol is still a family van. But one thing that did not change is the Land Cruiser, still there for us in its 8th generation starting from 2024. It will undeniably offer all the things it's known for, wrapped in a stunning design that this legendary SUV is worthy of. Yes, there are faster SUVs, perhaps more capable off-road and more expensive and luxurious, but no other 4x4s offer the same blend of characteristics that the Land Cruiser does. Therefore, in our opinion, this SUV rightly deserves to be crowned the king of SUVs. If you haven't considered buying the new Land Cruiser, we have no doubt that you are now. We can truly recommend one if you need a good blend of practicality, comfort, reliability, off-road capabilities, and safety. Keeping in mind the Land Cruiser track record, we are sure that the upcoming model will also be an exceptionally designed and built piece of machinery. Also keep in mind that besides all the other benefits that this SUV offers, it has an exceptionally high resale value, and we predict that this will be true of the new generation as well. We'd like to know your opinion on this legendary SUV, so feel free to leave a comment. Don't forget to like this video and comment, as it helps the channel a lot. And as always, drive safely.